Hi, and welcome back to Help for Hypochondriacs, where we talk about health, healing, and how to live a better life through smarter choices. Today, I want to talk about one of the most socially accepted but biologically dangerous substances out there, alcohol. I'm not here to pass judgment. If you want to continue to drink, you do you. But I'm here to share my story of why I do what I do to keep my health anxiety from making my life a living hell. First, let me share a personal story. It's one I've carried with me for decades. I was raised by a single mother. She worked 3 jobs at one point, yet was always there for me whenever I needed her. She was in complete control of every situation, and she never drank. Alcohol just wasn't part of our home. It wasn't hidden or forbidden. It simply wasn't there. Because of that, I never had any real exposure to it, except for one night. It was New Year's Eve, 1994. I was a teenager, and I remember that evening so clearly because, for the first and only time, my mother had a glass of champagne. Just one. About 30 minutes later, she was rolling around on the couch, laughing hysterically at everything. I could say just about anything, and she was in tears, laughing so hard she could barely breathe. It wasn't scary, but it was strange. I'd never seen her like that. Totally out of control. It made an impression, and not a good one. Even then, I decided that alcohol just wasn't something I was interested in. It didn't appeal to me. That experience stuck. And as I got older, and especially once I became a hypochondriac and started diving deep into health research, I discovered that avoiding alcohol might have been one of the best decisions I ever made. Let me walk you through why. Alcohol is a carcinogen, even in moderation. Let's get this out of the way. There is no safe amount of alcohol. The World Health Organization classifies alcohol as a Group 1 carcinogen, which is the same category as tobacco smoke and asbestos. That means the evidence is clear. Alcohol causes cancer in humans. A 2021 study published in The Lancet Oncology estimates that over 740,000 cases of cancer per year worldwide are directly linked to alcohol. The most common include breast cancer, liver cancer, colorectal cancer, esophageal cancer, mouth and throat cancer. You've probably heard the myth that red wine is good for your heart, or that a little alcohol is fine in moderation. But the latest research contradicts that. A 2023 joint statement by the World Health Organization and the International Agency for Research on Cancer stated unequivocally, no level of alcohol consumption is safe for our health. From a hypochondriac's perspective, the brain is one of the scariest organs to mess with, because once something's off, it can feel impossible to fix. And alcohol? It directly disrupts your brain. Even small amounts of alcohol shrink brain tissue. A study from the University of Oxford published in Nature Communications 2022 found that even 1 alcoholic drink per day was associated with reductions in brain volume. And the more people drank, the worse it got. Alcohol affects cognition. Memory, focus, and learning are all impaired. Mood regulation. Alcohol is a depressant. It can worsen anxiety and depression over time. Neurodegeneration. Long-term alcohol use is associated with increased risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. One study from the BMJ, 2018, showed that even moderate drinkers had 3 times the risk of hippocampal atrophy, the area of the brain responsible for memory. As someone with a family history of Alzheimer's disease, I'm deeply invested in protecting my brain. I take omega-3s, I stay mentally active, I get sleep, and I stay far, far away from alcohol. You may have heard that alcohol is heart healthy, especially red wine. That idea came from early studies in the 1990s suggesting a French paradox, that French people drank wine but had low heart disease rates. But recent research has torn that theory apart. A massive 2022 study published in JAMA Network Open looked at nearly 400,000 people and found that when you control for other factors, alcohol increases the risk of high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, stroke, heart failure. Alcohol raises your blood pressure, increases inflammation in your arteries, and contributes to plaque buildup. It's also dehydrating and can disrupt your sleep, both of which are crucial to heart health. In short, there's no cardiovascular benefit. None. We know alcohol damages the liver. That's not news, but the extent of the damage may surprise you. Even occasional drinking can cause fatty liver disease, and chronic drinking, even what's considered light to moderate, can lead to liver inflammation, fibrosis, and eventually cirrhosis. What's particularly insidious is that liver damage can occur without symptoms until it's already advanced. Your liver is your body's detox factory. When alcohol damages it, everything else in your body suffers. Hormones, metabolism, digestion, immune function. It's a domino effect. Alcohol also wrecks your gut. It disrupts your microbiome, the colony of beneficial bacteria that regulate digestion, immunity, and even mood. Alcohol research. Current reviews published a study showing that alcohol increases intestinal permeability, also known as leaky gut. That means toxins and bacteria can leak into the bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation. It also lowers white blood cell production, inhibits nutrient absorption, and weakens your first line of defense against viruses and bacteria. For someone with health anxiety, the idea of intentionally weakening your immune system is unthinkable. Let's talk about the emotional toll. People often use alcohol to unwind, calm nerves, or socialize, but that's temporary. Over time, alcohol increases anxiety and depression. It throws off your brain's delicate balance of neurotransmitters, especially serotonin and GABA. Studies show a clear link between alcohol and worsened mental health. In fact, people who stop drinking often report major improvements in mood, clarity, and resilience within weeks. If you're prone to health anxiety, panic attacks, or intrusive thoughts, alcohol is like pouring gasoline on a fire you're already struggling to contain. So yeah, my story started with my mom on a couch laughing uncontrollably after one glass of champagne. But it continues with me 30 years later, living a healthier life because I've chosen to say no to alcohol. I didn't grow up with it. I never acquired a taste for it. And when I started researching the real science behind it, the brain shrinkage, the increased cancer risk, the liver damage, the effect on mood and memory, it only confirmed what I already knew. Alcohol is not a health food. In fact, it's one of the most dangerous legal substances we consume. Not because of what it does in excess, but because of what it does in any amount. And I know people don't like to hear that. It's hard when something so normalized, so celebrated, is revealed to be harmful. But I believe in telling the truth, especially to people who, like me, worry deeply about their health and want to do everything possible to live long, happy, functional lives. If you drink, this isn't about shame. It's about awareness. We've all been sold the idea that alcohol is fine in moderation, even good for us. But science says otherwise. So if you're on the fence about drinking, or you're just starting to question it, know that you're not alone. There are millions of us who live alcohol-free, and we're doing just fine. In fact, we're doing better than fine. We're sleeping better, thinking more clearly, and living longer, healthier lives. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, your body is always on your side. Give it the best chance to keep you healthy. See you next time on Help for Hypochondriacs.